One of the best things a garden can exude is a sense of fun. So it's so exciting to come into a suburb like this in Christchurch, to a fairly bland street of greys and pale colours, and to suddenly see something like this. And you know straight away that the owner is just having a ball. Let's go and have a look. The colour combinations are just so sweet. The purple Verbena bonariensis against these really quite understated orange dahlias just make for such a sweet combination against that kind of smoky blue-green painted weatherboard and a fabulous desaturated orange door and window combination. It just all works together so beautifully. In amongst all of that are these posts, and all of this is a reinforcing steel rod rusting under there, with Muhlenbecker complexa running up at creating these clubs. Robyn, the owner, says she has to cut them really every few weeks to keep them tight, but they're just hilarious fun. Great combination, or at least contrast, of fine textured foliage against all the other much more bold foliages in there. And all this in a tiny, tiny front yard. I think it's really critical in a small garden, and this is really tiny, to still provide a variety of spatial experience, places where the garden cramps you in and then releases you and closes in over the top and then opens up. And this garden, in a really, really limited space, does that beautifully. On this way. I'll even open the gate. Go from blue and orange combinations out the front to blue and pink back here, and again it's a really lovely desaturated pink. Those colours come out of the paintwork, the feature paintwork in the house, but also in the foliages of the flaxes and the flowers of Rosa mutabilis. So these colours, it's almost like they're bleeding out of the house and into the garden. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just over my head. I'd almost hit my head, brush my hair against it. But I love that exaggerated sense of being enclosed overhead, because it's really important to amplify in such a small space all of those spatial experiences. When I step that way about 2 meters, suddenly it's open to the sky, and it changes everything about how I feel in here. As we've been getting around big gardens here in New Zealand, time and time again we've seen this cross-axial design of straight axes running at 90 degrees. And here it is expressing itself again in a really, really narrow space. It works on almost any level. It's certainly working really well here. Seeing a garden like this makes me want a really small garden. I love having heaps of space to play in, as I do at home, but I also really love it when you see a good design executed with such discipline. There's no room for extravagance or even error on this kind of scale. And to me, this is really good design, well executed with good plants, in which the owner is having lots and lots of fun. What more could you ask of a garden?